raspberries. And the Latin name for this is Rubus. Can't remember which Rubus it is, but there are several Rubus family members. So there's raspberry, there's Himalayan blackberry, there's trailing blackberry, there's thimbleberry, there's salmon berries, there's black caps and red caps, which are, I think I said thimbleberries already, but black raspberries are also called black caps, and they grow high up in the mountains. And what I've noticed about indigenous versions, so here I'm looking and there's 5 leaves on there. I'll do this very gently. There's 5 leaves. Most non-indigenous plants that are in the Rubus family have 5 leaves. The Rubus in indigenous plant life have 3. So if you are seeing, you'll see them and they'll look like this. The trailing blackberry will be a lot smaller, but there'll be 3 leaves like this. Salmonberry will look like this, but these leaves will look like kelela. Do anybody know kelela? I know a few of you do. Butterfly. So they have butterfly leaves, the salmonberries. I do actually know the full Latin name of the salmonberry, which is also known to us as yatuan or yatuanai, and that is Rubus spectabilis, because it's so fabulous. It gets a really great name. So what is it good for? You can literally, if you're in pain or have an upset stomach, even roll up a leaf and roll it up like tiny. You can just chew on it and get the medicine out of it. If you're really sick and walking around, or maybe you're on a hike and something just doesn't sit right, you could do that. I've done that because I've worked in the ecotourism community for about 15 years, and it sounds all great till you get to the park and they're running their gas-powered engines and leaf blowers and everything's going, and all of a sudden you can't breathe because it's like also the guys at the dock are running their boat motors, so all of a sudden you have this exhaust that you don't expect in nature. And so I've been able to run up and eat a few leaves just to calm my gut down. And that's often what it's used for, is nausea. So life givers love this because it prevents nausea, fights it, it helps balance your gut. It also is a pain reliever, and it's one of the best pain relievers that people overlook. People just think, oh, this is just for your stomach. That's it. But this, all of the Rubus family, the leaves are so good for our muscles and our organs. And if you have pain in your body, in your muscles, it will calm and relax the pain. If your muscles are tight, it will loosen them up and relax you. And that's why it's often used by life givers during pregnancy, during childbirth, and then in nursing, because anybody here that's ever nursed will gladly tell you how much pain it is when your tiny little baby first latches on. It's like, ah, it feels like you're being punched in your uterus, and it's like, ow. But then you drink some of this and it just calms it down. And one of my aunts who'd had like 5 kids and never used raspberry leaf, then I showed up in the hospital on her 6th baby. And I said, just try this. She said, whatever, and then took a sip and went, why have you not given this to me before? Because you didn't even want this cup. So I made you drink it. So, yeah, but that's the whole thing about the Rubus family. It helps us with our stomach, it helps us with our muscles, and it helps prevent, it not only prevents us from getting sick, and it not only helps us to have more movement, it strengthens our whole body because we have muscles everywhere, and it helps everything. It just relaxes, and then it not only relaxes but strengthens. So it's high in calcium and iron, and of course the berries are really rich in nutrients. And so you can see with this how many little juice pestils are on there. So my friend discovered one. We'll just slip out of the way, try to be out of your way here, sorry. And oh, cute little Tekaya. I call all dogs Tekaya. It means wolf. And so My friend discovered another one that grows way up high in the mountains on the snow line, and it actually produces fruit in like the very early spring while there's still snow on the ground, and it's called ice raspberry. So cool. But it doesn't have a berry like this. It has maybe 1 to 4 juice pestils. And you can see there's quite a few on here. So the salmon berries, the blackberries, the raspberries, the black caps, they all have a lot. But the Rubus nivalis, the ice raspberry, only has 1 to 4 little juice pestils. And I did try some right off the vines up there in the mountains, and it was more pulpy, and it just seemed to be more fibrous, and it was still sweet even in the cold, which kind of surprised me. And my friend was able to get a little clipping, so I have one I'm trying to nurture and grow, but they're really hard to find. So I love the Rubus family. They're very giving. They're also related to the rose family, and hence why you'll see thorns on them and the roses. So they, the thing about plants, they have families, just like us. They have cousins, they have all kinds of relatives. So the more you learn about plants, the more you start connecting the dots at who's related, and it often shocks you. You're like, that plant's related to this one? Okay. But I love learning that because it's all geeky plant knowledge, and it's all from the ancestors, so yeah. Okay, we'll keep going.
I have a question.